Yo, 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 what is up? We are back at it with a little impromptu get together. Waruna is here with us. He skipped out last night, but he is here. He's charged up too. I think he's got how many you got under your belt right now?
Just to,
Oh, well, and making that smile go big.
yeah,
Uh Shout out to E Kim. Man, these guys already up in the chat before we even get here.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, man, it's
I
good
had the
stuff.
privilege of meeting him in person, so I know he's awesome.
Uh, hey Ryan, and now more pressure on Tua in Miami. Yeah. Uh,
Let's start with that.
all right.
Tyreek Hill going
Yes.
to Miami, but two angles. Okay, let's discuss this with basically two perspectives. First thing is,
Hold on. Do we want to talk about hey, let's I'm gonna drop a link in here. Anybody
yes,
wanna come in? You can come on in. Get this
yes,
going. So yeah, go ahead, Waruna.
yeah. So two things, right? First thing is right now the way Chiefs are thinking and why probably Tyreek Hill made the wrong choice. Why? Here's my explanation. For example, let's say if Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams goes to Saints with Taysom Hill or goes to Seahawks with Andrew Luck, sorry, not Andrew Luck, Drew Luck, what will happen? Probably their value will eventually get diminished. Hi, Kim,
What up?
Going on, guys?
right? So I'm just wondering when you have basically it's like a two-way business. When you have Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, that gives value to you because he's giving you the opportunities to be this number one wide receiver, this explosive guy. But suddenly you are going to Miami to a quarterback who is still trying to find his place in NFL, who is trying to prove himself. As Kim correctly said, more than on Tua, Tyreek Hill might be a joke in NFL in couple of seasons because he has a 120 million deal with 72 point something something guaranteed. After a couple of years people will say, see, without Patrick Mahomes he is nothing. The same thing can happen to Devontae Adams as well. So that's my first part. The second perspective that I'm going to take about this is Mike McDaniels. Dude, you are a fucking legend. Here, John Lynch is shitting his pants, doing nothing, keeping Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster, wasting $50 million basically in 2 years. You are going all in just to make sure, okay, this year I'm going all in. I'm not going to wait. Man, that's awesome. So these are
Yeah.
my 2 points that I took away from this trade.
Well, E Kim, welcome to the show. Nice to see you on this end here. You're always been a hard supporter in the chat. We appreciate you. What do you have to say?
Waruna brings up good points, but I have an interest. I thought about this. I think the Chiefs are rebuilding in a way, a slight rebuild. Because look what the Hall of Draft picks they got. And you could also say, hey, we could trade for a receiver like Brandon Cooks and try to slot him into the Tyreek Hill position. Because what's the big issue? I see two issues with the Chiefs right now. Their defense is suspect at best. So you got to try to fill some of those holes. And I think the offensive line rebuild for Patrick is not going the way they anticipated, within reason. Not to say that you can't. I'm going to expect a improvement in Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith next year. I don't know about my right tackle. I think still need to upgrade the right tackle. And I think Joe Tooney is still a capable player, and Orlando Brown is capable. But I still see one position on that offensive line needing, but possibly a replacement.
When we also how many free agents do they have this year? I wonder. I might
A
be able
few,
to
I think.
because that's the one thing I've been wondering like the whole time is why how have they not suffered it, like how would you attrition from, being their success. And it seems like they're always in it. And I thought this was going to be the chance, but I I think that they're just putting leaks, patches on a leak. You know what I mean? They need to figure out the real problem because they've only got a couple more years. I think they can put patches on this.
I agree, and I think to me, what if they traded away Kelsey instead? I could see that, instead of Tyreek Hill. Who knows how much longer Kelsey wants to really play? I know he's not a young player anymore, and I also see
Kel-
more attrition in the defense because I know that Chris Jones just renegotiated his contract, and I don't know if that's going to spell anybody coming in for help.
I mean,
Gotcha.
one interesting point because I personally do feel Travis Kelsey is more important than Tyreek Hill. Now, people, I mean, if Tyreek Hill hears this, he would like, what the fuck, dude? I'm the faster guy on the field. I can beat everyone. But given the impact, what Travis Kelsey can do, he's the bigger guy who can make the impact. He can run through the tackles. Tyreek Hill can run when he's in space. He's good at getting into the space, as well as Mahomes is a guy who can spend so much time. That's what I believe Tyreek Hill just forgot because Patrick Mahomes, he can spend like 10 seconds in that backfield just trying to figure out, okay, he would run here, run there. Okay, when he sees Tyreek Hill somewhere open, he would throw it. Can these other players do it? I don't think I mean, especially Tua can't do the same thing that Patrick Mahomes did. So, I mean, again, I believe Travis Kelce is much more important piece to the Chiefs as long as he's there than Tyreek Hill. Most probably, they wouldn't go down. Let's say they wouldn't, in terms of their offensive power, they wouldn't go down. They wouldn't miss Tyreek Hill as long as they have these other weapons. At the same time, about what you said about rebuilding, I think it's more like trying to figure out, okay, if somebody is asking too much, we are just letting him go because we are already committed to Patrick Mahomes, so we can find some other alternatives down the line. Because anyway, no matter what you are doing, this AFC is going to be a bloodbath. Russell Wilson is already there. Watson is back, so it's going to be a bloodbath. And Raiders are going to be a better with Devontae Adams and that combination. So I think it's more like, okay, let's just be realistic. Okay, if someone wants to leave, okay, get the fuck out here, dude. But we'll do whatever we can because I think end of the day, it's about Mahomes. No man, I mean, as 49er fans, we learned that hard way. No matter how good players you have, your quarterback needs to be at least top 10 to win
Ye-
that trophy.
that's true, but you have to respect Tyreek Hill and his abilities. Like, they figure I had Tyreek Hill on my fantasy team, and he kind of flopped this year. Like he had a couple games where he just went off, like nasty went off in the beginning of the year, and then there wasn't that much production. Especially there wasn't that consistent production, and you would think that on that team with all those weapons that he would have been, able to eat at some point in time. And I feel that the league kind of knows how to take him away. and they would rather have Travis Kelce eat than Tyreek Hill eat. I do think that Tyreek Hill going to Miami is bad for him in essentially two ways. You've got Tua, who, man, you just gave the man a Ferrari and he just turned 15 and a half and he's going for his, he's got his learner's permit. You know what I mean? Right now, he's got his learner's permit and you bought that kid a Ferrari. He's going to wrap that around something. You know what I mean? But not just that, like Tyreek, what other offensive weapons are out there that are screaming you have to cover also? You know what I mean? You have to double team also. Is there on that team? So
Well,
now, yeah, go ahead.
I believe Miami still has Mike Gesicki, the tight end. I believe they franchised him, and they have Jalen Waddle.
Oh, they do have Jalen Waddle.
And I don't know who they have as running back. I know Mostert signed with them and left San Francisco. So
bless Mostert.
Hey, he's in a no income tax state, so he gets to keep a little more money. So
well, at least he's with family. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that makes it okay, is he's with family.
And Miami got Teron Armstead too, I believe. They signed him to a big contract.
Dude, and who did the freaking well, no, I'm gonna say who did the fucking Denver Broncos peel from us today? Oh, K1.
They got K1, but I think they also got Tom Compton too, I think.
I mean, I'm okay with K1 leaving because I felt like he's past his prime.
Thought they were
because
shot
I was
hard.
Yes, so I was okay to see him go. Not that I don't respect the guy, but at the same time, I thought like, okay, maybe it's done with him because anyway, we signed a new corner, so on and so forth. So I'm okay with that one.
Okay. The new corner.
Yes. Ward. Charvarius Ward.
Yes, Charvarius Ward. I always have to think about his name first and how I'm going to say it.
Yes, we have 2 Wards on team. So basically. So
they may as well sign Jihad Ward and get 3 of them, the defensive linemen.
Yes. Unless otherwise they become a hospital ward.
Oh no. Why are you even trying to speak that into existence?
Hey, that's what Jimmy does, throw hospital balls when you praise him.
Yeah. But okay, since you said it, let's get back to Jimmy Garoppolo and why. Basically, this is something I really wanted to talk about. Just get it out. What the hell is John Lynch is thinking? I mean, what's the reason behind keeping Jimmy Garoppolo? This is the only explanation that I have why Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the team. For some reason, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, I think both combined have an ego just to show the world that we are never wrong. That's a bad attitude for leaders because some people get away with it because they get so many things right and they got, like, let's say 20% of the time they are wrong, but 80% of maybe 90% of the time they are right. So they just get away with. But one of the best ways to be a successful leader, I would say, is accept your mistakes, then learn from it and move on it. Do you remember Jalen Hurd, the name Jalen Hurd? Before the season, I think people got mad at me when I said...
Shout out 49er minded.
Yes, people got mad at me when I said Jalen Hurd would be the breakout player for 49ers. Meaning he would break and out of the team. Right?
Yes.
I'm seeing the same pattern because they tried so much with Jalen Hurd. They even gave him 53-man roster spot to Jalen Hurd just to prove to us, you know what, we trust this guy. We have so much of confidence. He's going to eventually come out. He's going to be a number one receiver or wide back, whatever it is that we think he's capable of. But it eventually did not work out. So
And
that
we're gonna cut Nasimba Webster, who was a great special teams player
exactly.
and did great at the sweep, and we're gonna cut him for some broke ass Jalen Hurns
Yes,
because we're telling you we've made the great decision this whole time.
yes,
And then they cut him as a side note. Like,
yes.
I hope you didn't see
So
it.
yeah, so that's the same thing I'm seeing with this Jimmy Garoppolo situation. They are like, okay, they try to remember this. If, for example, let's say you two, let's play, do a role play, not a role play scenario. Let's assume you both are like John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. You come to me. Let's say I am from Colts or whatever the place it is. Hey, Jimmy is available. Give us first round pick. I would say fuck no. Then you would say, okay, two first round picks. Why the hell would I give you two first round picks?
Give me
If
2 second-round picks.
yes, two second round picks. The reason is Jimmy Garoppolo was ranked between every like NFL.com, ESPN, every rank was for Jimmy Garoppolo was between 15th and 20th position. Basically, let's say he was the 17th best quarterback. Many people do forget that he was 17th best quarterback because of Debo Samuel, Kyle Shanahan, Demico Ryans, the 49er defense, so on and so forth. Millions of reasons, not because himself. Then, if I am the team who is trading to Jimmy Garoppolo, my first question, okay, I'll give you two second round picks. Can you send me Debo Samuel along with that? Demico Ryans along with that? Your defense, Nick Bosa. If you send everything along with Jimmy Garoppolo, yes, I'll believe he's the 17th best fucking quarterback in this league. He is not. He is fucking not. Because what happens is, I'm super mad as people said this to me before this season started. They said Jimmy Garoppolo will bowl out. He fucking did not. Then some people said when he's out of San Francisco, he will be just playing as a quarterback when he goes to a new system because Kyle Shanahan's playbook is so fucking complex. But it will not happen. He will fall out to the 20s. Eventually, the cliff theory that brought out by the ESPN guy,
Max Kellerman.
Max Kellerman, that will happen to Jimmy Garoppolo. When he goes to that next team, whatever team scores, doesn't matter. He will fall out. So that's the biggest thing that I'm seeing. These guys are too arrogant. They try to sell out. I think no need to say 49ers did not believe in this fucking guy. That's why they drafted Trey Lance so desperately. And you are asking other teams to believe in him. It's like you're saying you are coming out of a, let's say, you go into some war zone and coming out with bullet wounds and everything, and says to someone else, okay, hey, you need to go there. That would be a really enjoyable time. That the guy would say, okay, you are all injured and wounded up. You think that's a good idea? Yeah, I can guarantee you that. Even you can't prove it. That's a good idea. Sorry, I went on that.
So I think that like trading Jimmy G is a ridiculous idea because we were sitting here with Jimmy G on our team saying he's too expensive. He's not worth what he's getting paid. Okay. So now how do you have another team give up draft capital and around the same amount of money that we're talking about? You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're going to pay the whole thing. You know, they're guessing that Niners are going to have to eat some. And the more they eat, the higher that pick will go up. But I mean, like, he's worth 20 million. You know what I mean? There's no incentive for any team to want to get Jimmy to drive their team in the ground. They can do that with their backup and get a first round, you know, like top 3 pick in the first round next year. You know what I mean? They can do it what they got on their team already. They don't have to give away draft capital. So I don't understand why there's this big huge like, oh no, they're they're going to get something for Jimmy. No, they're not. Jimmy is going to be on the roster until the 49ers either play him or cut him.
So, a little bit of a history lesson. I know Waruna and I talked about this, and I believe you know some of this, Ryan. Remember when John Lynch and Kyle took over, who was the quarterback that they signed that season?
Wait,
Brian Hoyer.
Yes.
What was the record of Brian Hoyer? I don't remember seeing him do anything as a quarterback in New England outside of hold a clipboard for Tom Brady. I could be wrong. That could be possible. I've been wrong many times, and I will be wrong again. But
Their
then
moves in the beginning at quarterback just totally stumped me.
Yes. But then here's my next thought. When Jimmy played those games when Tom Brady was suspended for Deflategate, those first 4 games, how many games did Jimmy start? 2, and he got injured.
Yes.
That's when my first red flag went up on Jimmy. So you're telling me after 2 starts, and Jimmy did look decent as a fill-in for Tom for those 2 starts before he got injured. I'm not going to say I believe the Patriots won those 2 games, but you're telling me you're going to flip an asset to get him. But then here comes the next issue. John Lynch and Kyle told us that they did not scout Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson in 2017. And that could have filled in a quarterback gap. Who knows? Before we knew that Deshaun had all these issues. You're telling me that you at least didn't do a little bit of homework? It's like, I'm an engineer. If I don't, if I can't do the problems before the test, I'm hosed.
Yeah.
So, and then there goes the next problem. They also banked on Kirk Cousins being available. How did that end up?
They fumbled so many things. It was just terrible.
And then in the 2018 draft, didn't Kyle say that he would have liked to have Josh Allen? How many years of Josh Allen's development did it take Buffalo for him to become what he is now? It took 4 seasons. And I understand that when John and Kyle took over, it was a out-of-control tire fire of a franchise. I get and understand and respect that. But then more problems come. We have Jimmy. He wins those 5 games in 2017, and then he tears his ACL in 2018.
That was some of the worst things that could have happened to us, is him win those 5 games.
Exactly. But then when he won those 5 games, I would have slapped the franchise tag on him. You're getting the guaranteed money. Prove to us that you can take us places.
I heard somebody say that this earlier. I can't remember who. It was either the Between Two Beards or it was 49ers After Dark with Grant and Jesse. Somebody on one of those shows had said that, and I was like, yeah, that makes too much sense.
And then they could have franchise tagged him again after 18.
Yeah. If they wanted to, you know what I mean?
If they wanted to. And then for all this, you give Jimmy a big contract with all these outs that are easy for the 49ers to activate if they ever wanted. Like only having $2 million in dead cap. I mean, really? That's easy. I'll trade a steak dinner. I'll buy Waruna a steak dinner at Gibson's or Morton's for cutting Jimmy. I'll do it. I'll do it right now. Okay. But then here's the final piece of what I have to say. After the 2020 season, Kyle is more or less telling us that he wants a warm body to replace Jimmy at quarterback. But then you also have them trading up to number 3 while Jimmy's still there. Didn't the Colts cut Peyton Manning when they drafted Andrew Luck? Peyton Manning told the Colts, you have to cut me. You cannot keep us both. And you keep being a mediocre Jimmy when Peyton Manning more or less told the Colts, cut my ass. I believe that was after that second neck surgery he had, or one of the neck surgeries he's had. So, and you're telling me that Jimmy is better than Trey? I don't believe that for a second. If anyone tells me that, I can just go tell them, go for a walk. Just go away. But
Well,
then here's the next problem that comes from that.
they look the same. They look the same as far as outcome, right? The stats aren't necessarily the same, and how they get to where they get isn't the same, but the outcome is same, like as far as mistakes and like points. But the one thing you can see is one's getting better, the other one consistently inconsistent.
The thing about Jimmy is the injury in 2018 did that ACL tear did impact Jimmy. But isn't his job to get
It
better and try to
impacted his
improve?
brain. That means he's weak.
Yes, but also from that, there are two scenarios I was thinking when they may trade up to number 3. Let's say this. I know this is all Monday morning sitting on our butt evaluation, but let's say you kept Jimmy and stayed at number 12. You could have gotten Rashawn Slater. That's why I like elite offensive linemen in the first round. He looked pretty dang good last season with the Chargers, I believe. I believe he made the Pro Bowl his first year.
I
Okay.
give you another name. If we got Micah Parsons with Jimmy, we might have won the Super Bowl.
I think we would have gone places too. Here's the second scenario. You cut Jimmy and you potentially roll over $50 million and load this roster this season. Or
Would have
you
been
use
so
$10
great.
million to get players last season and then get players that aren't Dre Kirkpatrick and Josh Norman.
Yes.
You could have done great deals. You know what I mean? Like you could have used some of that money to lock Debo and Bosa up, in a nice happy contract to where they're like, yeah. You know what I mean? You could have done so many things. We could have, oh man, imagine having all that money right now, wheeling and dealing and having like the ultimate fucking team.
And then there's one thing this free agency period has, I wish they could have done if they cut Jimmy. I don't see McGlinchey coming back. They could have signed La'el Collins when Dallas let him go. That would have been a plug and play right tackle. Maybe not perfect, but I see him as a huge upgrade over McGlinchey any day of the week.
So, Korean, Ekim, I just had an idea. What if you every 3 years created a super team, and then the other 2 years you ran like 60 million lean on your cap, so then you could turn around and drop 120 mil, on that third year. You know what I'm saying? And just 1 year contract everybody, and every 3 years, you keep. Let's say you keep on your offensive line and your quarterback. You know what I mean? And certain key positions, you keep those guys on. You know what I mean? And then you're always working on depth. But when it comes down to it, you're not. And then you bring in bangers every 3 years. We're going to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
everybody knows they're waiting. Oh. I only want a 2-year contract because in 3 years the Niners are going on their Super Bowl run, and I want to get in my turn. You know what I'm saying?
I understand you. So, like, a couple more points. I gotta go because I got a lovely phone call in the morning that I need to be part of for work.
Oh, bro. Sorry to hear that.
It is what it is. Got to make the money somehow.
Yeah, you do.
So since 2012, who have been some of the quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls? Tom Brady, Joe Flacco, Peyton Manning, Nick Foles, and quarterbacks on rookie deals.
Yes.
What are the 49ers not taking advantage of?
The rookie deal.
The rookie deal they can load up on.
Yeah.
To me, what are you doing? Aren't you not? You're supposedly in an area where you have some of the smartest people and you don't see what's going on.
Like you're playing checkers while everybody else is playing, the 3D chess you would talk about playing. You know what I mean? You're back there trying to get kinged in your own backcourt. You know what I'm saying? It don't work that way. You got to get to the other side first. Switch to a real man's game.
So that's one big pro. Yes. Well, I could also say, bullfighting is a sport too. When the bull gores the matador, but that's another topic. And also, you're telling me that we can't take advantage of what's one thing that Jimmy can't do that the rules today tell you to take advantage of? Throw the deep ball.
Yep.
I talked to Waruna about this, and I said, "Hey, what's the one thing that is killing this team when we watch? Jimmy cannot throw a deep ball beyond the numbers and line of scrimmage. That's what do we? And you see it when he misses an open Ayuk or a use check. I'm
And
like,
not does it only open up our offense, but it causes the DBs to be honest, and it'll, if you're constantly checking them, they're going to have to play. They can't play totally all over them, because the moment they do that and the ball's right there, they're going to get PI. So, you know what I mean? So they're going to have to play smart, and they're going to have to play smart all the time, because they're never going to know when it's going to happen. Because I got tested the last time when I thought it was a run play. You know what I mean? Like that's how you have to do it. You have to get in their minds. You know what I mean? You got to get in their minds with it, and that's how you do it. And you can't do it when you got Jimmy G. They're like, nah, safety's got this guy. I'll sit here and get a tackle. You know what I mean? I'm in a contract year. My tackles go up. Ooh, that might make me, get me an extra $500,000. You know what I mean? $750,000. You know what I mean? Like, what? People out here making business decisions, trying to feast off of Jimmy and our offense. You know what I mean? Because he restricts us so much.
and there's one last thing.
Yeah.
How many mediocre quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl?
One.
Trent Dilfer's the only one I can think of off the top of my head, and I don't want to. Joe Flacco, I guess.
I mean,
don't want.
throw
I
you
don't
a-
want-
basically out of 56 Super Bowls that has been played to this date, if we consider Joe Burrow is going to be a Hall of Famer level talent.
There was the Bears quarterback in '86.
Yes. So if you think about,
I can't even remember his name offhand. So
Out of McMahon.
40 out of that, 44 Super Bowls has been won by the quarterbacks who are already on the Hall of Fame or future Hall of Fames, meaning Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Brady, of course. So basically, that's only 12 locations. So out of 12, Randall Cunningham won 2 Super Bowls, who was the starting quarterback when Steve Young was got into the BYU. So basically, I mean, then you have like guys like Joe Flacco, who had a fantastic season during the playoffs, so on and so forth. So barely, no matter what, the average quarterback has to have a dream run to win the Super Bowl.
Also, people downplayed Doug Williams when he won that Super Bowl with the Redskins at that time. But you also have to remember he was a first-round pick that Tampa gave up on, and they scored 28 points in that second quarter of that Super Bowl against Denver. So he put up points, and he executed.
Yes.
In a Joe Gibbs offense, and Joe Gibbs is an elite coach. I mean, he got Washington the only 3 Super Bowls in their history.
Yes, that's true.
So I think Eli Manning is an elite quarterback too, because when he played Tom Brady, he didn't screw it up. He didn't fuck up.
Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, that pass he made getting out of, I mean, he was literally tackled. He was about to go down, but he came out and made these throws and so on and so forth. I think that's some elite level shit, because this fucking guy,
Eli Manning and elite does not go in the same sentence.
He beat Tom Brady twice.
He played.
No.
I mean, Ryan, I got mad. This fucking guy, Ro, he said Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Eli Manning. I was like, dude, what the fuck do you know about this?
Eli Manning is a better version of Jimmy Garoppolo. He can throw the ball. He can throw the ball further.
Way better than Jimmy Garoppolo. I would say.
At certain times in his career, he played with great vision.
Yes.
But when it came down to it, he is the best mediocre quarterback ever to play the game of football.
True.
And I think really the only reason why he'll get into the Hall of Fame won't because of the 2 Super Bowls, because I think if you really watch, like, he doesn't, I don't know, it was never fun. and exciting to watch him play in the
This is
Super Bowls.
this is true.
Better than Jimmy.
You know what I mean? I think the only reason why he gets there is because he was a part of those team and he's Peyton Manning's brother. I think like I would rather watch Peyton Manning talk about Monday Night Football than Peyton Manning and Eli.
Eli deserves it too.
But remember, in that one Super Bowl in Indianapolis, Eli hit Mario Manningham that clinched that game, or more or less, clinched it for the Giants. To me, that was in a very tight window, and I was like,
don't you like to say a broken clock is right twice a day? Haven't I heard that one out of you?
That's something.
Look what fellow 49ers fans say. But look what Jimmy did. He took us to 2 NFC Championship games and a Super Bowl. I mean,
and that's what I'm just trying to put it back at you, homie. You know what I'm
I
saying?
understand you. I got you. But in the end, look what we've seen before. When we have a player in the NFL that's
damn well one of those Super Bowls he tripped and fell into.
Oh yeah,
I mean he didn't do anything except for walk into the last game and then be left standing at the end of it. He didn't do anything. Like, I don't think his jersey had any color on it. You know what I mean? Like, there was nothing, there was nothing going on. It was kind of like, I don't know.
But I talked about his leadership skills, intangibles, but we learned this offseason how
to command the huddle.
Right, because this offseason how the rest of the NFL world sees about Jimmy Garoppolo. It's basically like you take some dummy in front of you and say, okay, here's our leader, this is so and so forth, but other people are like, he's still a dummy. I mean, you can call him whatever the name you want, he's still a dummy. We don't care about it. I mean, Matt Ryan goes for a 3rd round pick is a big disrespect for that guy. I mean, he's a very good quarterback, but even at that point, a team doesn't want to give a 3rd round pick to Jimmy Garoppolo means everything to you, because they would literally do anything not to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. That's the reason, because NFL world is like, Jimmy Garoppolo is like flu that you don't want to catch. Everyone is like, hey, don't. I mean, I'm doing good, dude. Fine. Because I'm not sure whether you guys saw it. On Pat McAfee's show, Buffalo Bills GM, he came on the show. Sorry, I can't remember his name.
Billy Bean? Something
I think that's it.
Yes. So Pat basically, I mean, casually asked about, let's say hypothetically, this Jimmy Garoppolo situation. He was like, okay, if they say they have 2 first round picks, yeah, you have to believe that. But he literally meant that, okay, nobody is going to buy that shit. That's just a bunch of crap.
They all no, I think I don't know if it was the Bills GM, but I think it was Tom Pelissero, or was it Shefty? It might have been Shefty was on there, and they asked him that, and he said, I don't really see that being the case. I haven't heard it out there, but he said John Lynch is not someone who lies about anything. But I think Grant hit it on the head today. What was it that Washington do it? Washington put out the 2 seconds or whatever, and that Jimmy squashed it because he didn't want to go to Washington. And then they were like, okay, well, fuck it. We're not going to wait for everybody else, the dominoes to fall. We know we can get Wentz right now. He's the kind of works for them. And they did it for 2/3 instead of 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Because Jimmy's been to the NFC Championship twice, I'm guessing. So that's why he was worth 2 seconds.
So one thing that Jimmy reminds me of is, let's say you're going to go buy a used car. And you see one with...
Bring a magnet.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure the body doesn't have a Bondo.
Yeah, a lot of Bondo and a lot of other stuff. But, the guy is trying to sell his car, and he supposedly says it has 50,000 miles on it, but then you bring your mechanic and you look at under the hood and realize that car has 250,000 miles on it, and they're trying to pull a fast one on you. I'm like, am I missing something that I'm not seeing? Am I not? Am I seeing Jimmy?
There's
You
a lot
know,
of grease.
doing something that I'm not seeing. Me, I know my eyes are starting to suck as I get old. I can understand that, and people can appreciate that. But is there something I'm missing? By I know that I'm not a scout or evaluate talent, but
Oh,
it's like I think part of the reason I believe Jimmy refused that Giants, Commanders trade would be like he's thinking, I need to go to a team that is ready to win. Jimmy, for the fuck's sake, you were on a team that was ready to win, but you could not get them to win. That's what happened.
two
So
teams.
don't ever name whatever the team. I don't know. I really like this whether I can act as a god and make a parallel universe that I will say, Jimmy, okay, pick whatever the other 31 teams, I'll let you go there and win a fucking Super Bowl if you can. You can't. You are a damn loser. You fucked two opportunities that we had to win the Super Bowl, and you think you are like you. I don't have words to describe this fucking lunatic guy who thinks he's the leader, the locker room, the intangibles and whatnot that David Lombardi, the spreadsheet, talks about. I don't know, because you are not going to win a Super Bowl. You are eventually going to be a backup and out of the league because you are often injured. You don't have talent. I mean, you have like average talent, but that's not enough in today's NFL world to win a Super Bowl. So, but the silver
how does
lining
he
of
have
it.
the gall to think that he deserves to with his like he knows his level of play. How do you know your level of play like that and go, "Yep, damn right. I deserve to be the leader of this team because I well, there was that one time. No, I run this thing and I give them the best chance to win, except for when I lose
No,
in
I
the
think
last
that
minute.
happens. I
You know what I
think
mean?
that's
Like,
a human psychology, because if you think about it, if you tell the same lie again and again, let's say 1,000 times, even if you are the one who invented the lie, eventually you are going to believe it. End of the day, after 1,000 times, somebody tells you, okay, don't you remember that was a lie that you created? Then you're like, no, that's true. It can't be, because everyone tells that's true. So that's the same thing with Jimmy, because he believes, okay, he's the guy who is making everything happen here. He's the reason. Because, for example, Debo Samuel, just before the NFC Championship game, he came out and said, okay, Jimmy Garoppolo this, Jimmy Garoppolo that. How did Jimmy Garoppolo repay the faith that was shown to him? Through a hospital bill to Debo Samuel. He almost got killed during that championship game. Debo Samuel basically hobbled out, right, hanging on to his dear life. So that's how usual Jimmy Garoppolo take care of his guys. But anyway, the silver lining, end of the
well, wait, Waruna. What if what if that was Debo Samuel trying to get Jimmy to play better so they could win the fucking Super Bowl?
see, that's
Like,
a
oh shit, I know he knows he's a piece of shit. I need to make him think he's not and play up to, what we need to win this shit
no.
and try and get everybody off his back.
No, I mean that's a classic example of they are falling into their own light, because they think at this building Jimmy Garoppolo is the person who can make everything happen. So they keep telling themselves George Kittle, one of
Excuse me.
I mean, this might be controversial, but if George Kittle get traded, I wouldn't be worried about it, because I personally feel like George Kittle was one guy who was behind this backing up Garoppolo no matter what. I do not think Trey Lance, after especially seeing the leaked footage, what he did during the training camp, that's awesome videos. After seeing everything now, unless otherwise there was some in terms of like internal politics, there would have been no reason to bench Jimmy or cut Jimmy and start Trey Lance. I think it would have been this either George Kittle or these players stepping out, throwing out a tantrum, saying, "Okay, we are not going to play unless otherwise it's Jimmy." So I think that's why players falling for that. But eventually, what I was going to say, the positive that I'm going to take out from this whole scenario is whatever is going to happen will happen. If either Jimmy will get traded, cut, or he will be the starter in 2022. I'm okay with that. Any of these outcomes, I'm okay with that. But the good thing about it, let's say Jimmy stays in this team, be the starter next season, 49ers are going to struggle. Then eventually that will be the fallout of John Lynch,
Yes.
Kyle Shanahan. And eventually 49ers will have to rebuild again because sometimes to build something new, you have to smash everything, the existing, that ugly, giant old structure, burn it to the ground and start new. Then only you can do something separately. So that chance will come maybe in 2023, 2024. Might be Trey Lance will not be here. He might be requesting for a trade, but still, Trey Lance, I believe he has a talent. He can go somewhere and be successful. It's 49ers misfortune, but still, I think 49ers will get an opportunity, positive outcome from this, from this Jimmy Garoppolo experience. John Lynch is going to burn his hand. Kyle Shanahan will too. Some of these players will too, because most of these players who are backing up Jimmy Garoppolo are going to waste their prime that can win a Super Bowl. So all these guys will eventually think like, dude, we just fucked ourselves for a mediocre quarterback. What did we?
One thing I like to
Hopefully.
bounce off what Waruna's saying is, to me, watching Jimmy play is like, you know, take a ball peen hammer and bash your thumb with it numerous times just to see if it stops hurting. To me, if he's the starter for the first game, I'm going to start losing interest in the season right away. So you're telling me that we're going to go back and do
Yes.
the same thing and try to prove them wrong for the third time, a revenge tour or whatever. I'm tired of revenge tours. I'm tired of run it
Isn't
back.
that called isn't that called insanity?
Yes.
Isn't that insanity? The definition of insanity? Doing the same thing expecting a different result?
To me, if they do it,
Well,
hey,
I'm not going to be a stock
that's
I'm not going to have Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah,
to me. Yeah. To me, I'm going to follow, but I'm not going to be as interested as I should be for a season. But then also, it also comes to the point where, to me, I don't see Jed and Parag wanting to go all in at any point. You have two bean counters in charge of the team. Because, when they signed Deion Sanders in 94, they got him as a mercenary, more or less, for that one season. We can't do that. How many plays were we from making a Super Bowl last season? Not too many. Maybe 5 or 6 in an entire game. You can't tell me that getting some really good players is going to help. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah. They did not make a splash.
that's true. One other thing is,
All
I would
right.
say, one
Go ahead,
other
Varuna.
I would say about this is like, eventually, what we are not realizing is that next year, I mean, not next year, basically, this season, we will have to play AFC West, already become the best division in the football right now. On top of that, you are going to play Dolphins, then Tampa Bay. Saints, I'm not sure how good they are going to be, but still, you are. apart from, let's say, let's leave out Seahawks for the moment. Still, you have 4 tough games with Cardinals and the Super Bowl champions Rams, plus 4 games in AFC West. That's 8. Then Tampa Bay, then Dolphins. That's 10 games. So what the hell are you doing when you know that you are going to have a season that you are going to struggle in terms of the matchups? I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
one thing I was thinking is look at the Kyle Shanahan coaching record. One good year, mediocre year next. So I'm going to say the pattern's going to continue until they prove otherwise.
Yeah. That's why I'm really positive about this scenario. Basically, eventually, they will go down with Jimmy Garoppolo, but Jimmy Garoppolo will not be there to console them. He would take his money. He already made his money. But these guys, Kyle Shanahan probably lose his head coaching career for some time. These guys, Debo, Kittle, all these guys, they will lose their chance to win that Super Bowl because right now they are at their prime. They are often getting injuries. So this is the time to do that. This last couple of years, guys like Trent Williams in next couple of years, but they are losing that chance stubbornly, but eventually they will learn that lesson and 49ers will eventually come out. Jed York will say, oh, that did not work out. Okay, no more that shit. We'll do it differently. So it will happen. We just have to wait and sit.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
I was thinking that
we-
Eric was going to join in, but I guess not.
I think he might have been busy. Anyway, it's late.
Yeah. So one final point is thanks guys for allowing me to join in. I've always wanted to do it at least one time, but hopefully Kyle can prove us wrong. We hope he's getting paid $10 million. Prove it to us.
Yeah.
Well, it's Lynch who needs to prove us to us.
And Lynch. I mean, the entire front office and coaching staff need to prove that they could make it back to another Super Bowl and finally win one with
Facts.
what they're doing. But to me, this is a potential disaster because you have Trent Williams, the best at his position, and he's in his mid-30s. How many more prime years are you expecting him to give us? And he doesn't finish full seasons. And what about Bosa? To me, the thing is, the money for Jimmy wasn't going to go to Bosa or Debo, if you really honestly think about it. Because the 49ers could always franchise tag Debo 1 year and work out a deal. And they could 5th-year option Bosa to $20 million or somewhere in that ballpark next season. So they have time with those two players. And usually they always go up towards right before training camp starts, maybe a day or two before. So I'm not kind of worried about it unless they tell them, hey, we're asking for an outrageous amount of money and we need to flip them for as many assets as we can get, because if you're an elite player and you get traded, look at the amount of draft picks and maybe young players you could get back nowadays.
Yeah, just as long as they're not third round or higher.
Well, the problem is they have to hit on those elite picks when they get them. That's the next problem.
Look at what they've done to themselves. They have alienated us to the point where we don't trust them on picking anything at third round or above. And now we don't trust them to be able to trade a paperweight out of the franchise. Like they need to pull their head out of their ass real quick. I'm just saying, because there's a hole in the boat, and all their buckets have holes in them at this point.
So, all right, thanks, guys. I gotta get to the bed and try to get some sleep.
Yeah,
we're gonna end up signing off. Also,
yes, it was fun.
Thank you for having us, Kim, or sitting with us, chatting. Have a wonderful evening, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, Waruna.
And with that, everyone, I think we are done. Waruna, did you want to say something to everybody?
I mean, just enjoyed. Sorry about not being a regular, being busy with some stuff going on with the, job and thing, but hopefully we'll be back. There is a lot to do, cricket and stuff. So
Yep.
yeah, eventually we'll get to that.
And I will be releasing more cricket videos soon. So there we are. More
Yeah.
things to look forward to. And let's see. Saturday night we should have chilling at the spot. I don't know where it will be hosted, so check the socials. You can find No Borders Sports on Twitter at No Borders Sports. Link is, well, there's a little thing up there. There we go. All right. Have a wonderful evening, y'all. Bye.
Okay.